The best presenters honor the diversity of lived experience in their audience or peer learning group. They design and engage interactions to foster connection and belonging for individual and group learning needs. This microlearning module will help you to ensure that your presentation follows the best practices for diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI. Here's a quick knowledge check. Take a moment to determine whether the following statements are true or false. If presenters are well-intentioned, participants will feel included. I know what all of my biases are. Pause the video, think, maybe write down your responses, and then unpause. How did you answer the knowledge questions? The answers might surprise you. If presenters are well-intended, participants will feel included. This one is false. Good intentions are helpful and appreciated, but they are often not sufficient to create trusting and inclusive learning environments. DEI is measured by learners and their actual experiences, not by our intentions as presenters. I know what all of my biases are. This one is also false. The vast majority of our biases are unconscious. The EDUCAUSE Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Task Force reminds us that we should focus on DEI in our interactions. Diversity. Our professional community reflects myriad demographic characteristics, identities, perspectives, and backgrounds. Equity. All members of our professional communities have access to opportunity and advancement because we've promoted fair treatment and removed barriers that have prevented participation by underrepresented groups. And inclusion. All colleagues in our thriving community experience a sense of belonging, high levels of engagement, and shared respect. Let's move from the general idea of DEI into 4 best practices for presenters. The first expert presenter DEI practice is to model your own identity. Giving a little of your own personal story at the start of your session builds trust. By sharing the aspects of your identity that matter to you, your participants can find ways to resonate with you, as well as share and appreciate your passions, roles, background, personal history, and aspirations. You can model your identity quickly by telling others how to address you, say by first name or with your title, and share your preferred pronouns, where you're from, and what you are passionate about. Learning is social. If you've designed your session to be interactive, this practice also facilitates relationship and community building. The best presentations are intentionally engaging and sometimes provocative. Be purposeful in creating a safe and supportive dialogue around your key ideas. Create space for experiences beyond your own to be shared and allow for differences to be expressed. Some specific tools for inviting everyone are community agreements. Ask participants to help set a few norms for interactive parts of the session. For example, here's a sticky note version in action at a previous EDUCAUSE conference. Pair and share. Build in a short 2-minute turn-to-your-neighbor discussion prompt to get participants thinking and applying. Pre-writing. Give participants sticky notes and ask them to think and write before group conversation opens up. And ask for difference. Specifically, ask to hear from those who have not yet spoken or who have different experiences or opinions. Making space for multiple voices helps us digest complex ideas. Knowledge is co-created through dialogue and relationship. Our third DEI best practice is tone. As a reflection of our intention, our tone matters in what we display, what we say, and in our space. As you create your visuals, select media, tell stories, and curate examples, be inclusive. Visuals, do they depict diversity in terms of race, ethnicity, age, ability, and gender? Spoken words and text go beyond just not being offensive. Ask participants how they prefer to be addressed, avoid assumptions and stereotypes, ask a colleague to review your materials to help identify unseen biases. And physical space, where you can, create a variety of seating options, include colorful elements, provide playful or cultural interest items, and learning supports, such as bringing a few printed versions of your slides. Check out the resource list located in the resources area of the Presenter Concierge site, too. This best practice is kind of a presenter's secret. Participants remember our interactions better than the actual content we present. Even with good intentions, design, and preparation, people are sometimes triggered by things that we or others in our sessions say, do, or share. It's okay. Here is how to handle awkward or biased interactions gracefully. The best response is to pause, breathe, forget the clock and the other points you wanted to cover just for a minute. Acknowledge the concern as tactfully as possible. Say something like, "This deserves a minute to think and talk." Then invite participants to discuss and process, perhaps in a pair and share format. Now, it may feel counterintuitive, but being willing to let go of the schedule and the impulse to just push ahead supports relationships, dialogue, and learning. And that helps participants to be more open to your content-based ideas. A win for everyone. It's time to build it. Write down your notes for how you will model your own identity in your presentation, invite everyone to feel safe and heard, design your words, visuals, and space to reflect diversity and be welcoming, and honor diverse viewpoints and voices within and around your presentation's planned structure. Pause this presentation while you write down your ideas, and come back when you're ready to complete this microlearning module. To learn more, check out Don't Guess My Race from Michael Barron. The video listed here takes only 2 minutes. Come back to this presentation when you're ready to conclude. Now that you have completed this microlearning module on diversity, equity, and inclusion, where will you go next? Thank you for completing this microlearning module. If you haven't taken a look at the other ones in the series, please be sure to check them out.